Brought to you by Sheehan's Rustproofing. The Chiefs have just come out on the ice for a warm-up period. They're about to try for their 5th consecutive win. They're getting a good round of applause from their own booster club, who have traveled all the way from Charlestown to be here in Peterborough tonight.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home, make your next move a power play with Mike Burgoyne of Real Brokerage Realty. First responders, veterans, doctors, nurses, teachers, and yes, Let's Go Blues Radio listeners get special rates. Visit strikewithmike.com or email him at mike@strikewithmike.com and score big today.
Have you subscribed to the LGB Minute podcast yet? It's a 5-minute weekly St. Louis Blues podcast hosted by Jeff Ponder that is released multiple times a week to fill the gap between Let's Go Blues Radio episodes. Subscribe today.
So awesome, so handsome, so smart, you'll agree. Kurt, Jeff, and Bill are on TV. It's radio on TV. Oh yeah, it's radio on TV.
From St. Louis, I am Jeff Ponder, and I'm joined by the man who is having one fine day. It's funny because I wrote that. And then I find out you were having an awful day, so it kind of fits. Yes. Monsieur Bill Day.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for your premonition.
Yes. Sorry, that was probably on me that I did that. So blame me for all of life's problems.
Yeah. You caused it to manifest in my life.
I did. Kurt Price is still facing allegations. We're bringing you the often imitated, never duplicated, everyone's favorite lunchtime snack, the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. This is the 18th episode of season 15 and the 546th episode of all time. It is Wednesday, January 28th, and we're coming to you live. Tonight, we discussed the Blues' 5-game skid, more injury news piling up, Steve Ott's first few games as head coach in Springfield, all that and more on this mysterious episode of Let's Go Blues Radio. Bill, I can clearly see as we start the show that you are wearing a jersey. Don't stand up. Don't tell me. It either looks New York Rangers or old school Winnipeg Jets. I'm going to go... And there's a 1 clearly that you're wearing. I don't know if you have this jersey, but I'm going to say it is a Winnipeg Jets Dale Howardchuk jersey. Is that correct?
Oh, I wish. No. No, it's just my original Montreal reverse retro. The Kotkaniemi.
Yeah.
Yes. So
okay.
I am
stand up, show her off, let the audience see. All that beauty.
I love the colorway on this jersey. Even though the second reverse retro they put out was Expos color, there wasn't enough red in it for me to put me over the edge to get one. Plus, they sold out of all the Nick Suzuki ones right away. So,
is he your number 1 in Montreal right now?
Number 1 center, yeah. But my favorite player there right now. Oh, yes. That's tough. Probably, but there are so many good players there right now. Sofkovsky's got to be right there. Caulfield, he's tied for the league leading goals now, and
he's not on the U.S. Olympic team.
Correct. Neither is Lane Hudson. So,
neither is the guy that scored a big goal against the Blues this week, and is second or third in goals scored.
He tied Caulfield with his 30th the other night. So,
my word!
Actually, Caulfield might have taken the lead last night. So, it's a crying shame, and that was the Habs broadcast over the weekend. They went to great lengths to take Bill Guerin to task about the roster selection.
They absolutely should. And I'm not going to lie, like as excited as I am for the Olympics, because of these horrible decisions he's making, I'm kind of hoping they don't even place. Mm-hmm. You got to think if they don't even medal that there's going to be a GM change for the next set of Olympics.
Yeah.
There has to be, because he's made some awful decisions.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it last week. You know that they seem to be thinking that it's going to be a big physical game,
Yeah.
like Four Nations was. But this is a much longer
Well-
spread out tournament. You're probably going to get more misconduct calls for
Yep.
rough stuff. I think it's just not the right construction.
Well, and as if you don't have enough toughness already, you have both Kachucks on your team.
Mhm.
Like, good Lord, how much more toughness do you need?
Yeah,
Yeah, unbelievable.
One of these years I'm going to buy a USA jersey, but it's not this year.
So I've got my Team Canada Bennington jersey. I'll probably be wearing that a little bit for the Olympics. But I do have 2 Team USA jerseys. I have a Doug Waite one from back in the day. And the ones that I love the most was that 2012 when Ryan Miller went on his crazy run in goal.
Wasn't 12 Sochi?
10. Would have been 10. Yeah, Sochi, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that year they had really nice jerseys, and I picked one up, and I was going to get Miller on the back, but I never have. So I kind of still want to do it, especially since he's been a Blue since then.
Right. And yeah, and you know, it's Olympic jerseys are always fine and safe, especially somebody who retired, even though, you know, he didn't win the gold medal for us.
Nope. But he
Or Stanley
played
Cup
his
in his career.
played
He
his
played his
ass
part.
off too.
Right.
Yeah.
The Crosby golden goal is still what everybody's going to remember, right?
Yep, unfortunately. But he had an unbelievable tournament. And anyway, so yeah, back to the jerseys. Yeah, that I saw that and I looked, I'm like, that's probably a Habs jersey, but I forgot about the reverse retro one. Did you get the baby blue Canadians one?
No, that was the second one that I was talking about. There just wasn't enough red in it. And Suzuki, you know, like the Suzuki ones always sell out right away. So
yeah,
that was
they should have made the logo red. I think that would have been awesome.
Yeah. At least the inner stripe of, you know, the stripe here, keep that red on that jersey, and then that's perfectly Expos, right?
Yep.
I mean, I absolutely love the Expos when they were in the league. Got to see them play here many a time, and yeah, the baby blues, but with the red, always the thing of beauty.
Vladdy Guerrero was one of my favorite players when I was a kid. So, yep,
Yeah.
always rooted on the Expos, and being a hockey fan, always had a soft spot in my heart for Montreal and Toronto in the MLB. And I was very upset when they left and went to Washington. But yes, either way, that is a good looking jersey. I do like the baby blues just because I think it looks really good. It pops on the ice, but I'm with you. Add in a little bit of red. I think that's almost a perfect jersey for the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, I think when we were doing our grades on that, that was my one downfall to that.
Yep. I'm still surprised. We've been doing this show now for 15 years. We're obviously big jersey snobs. Why is the NHL not asked our opinion before they release this stuff? It's ridiculous.
I know. It's like they have massive contracts with these giant corporations or something.
Sign a massive contract with us. Why not?
We'll
the
become
NHL
a
signs
massive
a lucrative
corporation.
deal with Let's Go Blues Radio. That would be awesome. Let's hope that ever happens. It won't.
Yeah, it definitely won't.
Yep. So we've got a couple comments. People chiming in again. Sorry, everybody, we're a little late. We had some technological differences. But we've got, first of all, we'll start with my friend and goalie, your fellow goalie, Scott Kincaid, says, you can count. You can count. Good for you. And you can count on me waiting for you in the parking lot. I'm sure that's what he was quoting there. Ken Morris says he thought it was the Islanders. So I thought that too at first, but I'm like, I don't think Bill has an Islanders jersey. I thought maybe it had an old Jets stashed away. So that's why I thought maybe Jets.
So I was wearing an orange sweater over my shirt to work today. So I looked very Islanders all day, up until right before showtime, and I said I got to throw on a Habs jersey because it's time to go all in for me on them. And start watching those games over Blues games. So
I will say I work with some people who are not big hockey fans. There are a lot of hockey fans where I work, but there I did have somebody. I wore this jacket like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And for those on the podcast, it's just a Bauer jacket. It's just a really nice, real comfortable. It's a light jacket, something kind of dressy you can wear in an office. And it does say Bauer up across the right shoulder. And so she looked at it and she goes, "Oh, is that Eddie Bauer?" And I said, "Oh, no, no, no." And she goes, "Well, then is it pronounced Booer?" I go, "It is now."
Yeah, that's maybe that's the future collaboration or merged company. Eddie Bauer takes over Bauer Hockey, and yeah,
change it to E Bauer. That now just sounds like an internet company.
No, it's CCM eFlex. I was like, Bauer does Bauer do the eFlex goalie stuff? No, that's that's CCM. Thought we had something there.
We got Ken Morris. Cole Caulfield is my favorite Hab. Yeah, I'm with you. He's up there for me. He might be my favorite Hab. Not that I have a favorite from every team, but I do like Cole Caulfield a lot. Love his game. Trees, and this is an excellent idea, Trees. I so badly want to give you comment of the show, but we are literally 11 minutes in. He says, "Can't believe the NHL turned down your Facing Allegations jersey." Now, that is a heck of an idea for a jersey. Let's Go Blues Radio Facing Allegations jersey. I'd love it. Somebody needs to get that. Somebody order a Let's Go Blues Radio jersey and get that on the back. Facing Allegations. That would be awesome. And then Ken Morris. I thought Bill Day was a Billy Smith fan and played in net like him. I'll say I was a Billy Smith fan. I still am.
Yeah.
And Bill, I'm not going to, now you're an old man, you know, but like I've heard you got a little fiery back in your day.
Oh yeah. I mix it up. I throw the blocker, you know, put the skate between the legs and across the back of the Achilles. I was a bit of an asshole, just like Billy Smith. But yeah, no, I absolutely love like Billy Smith was really the first guy to make to bring colored pads to the league, right? They were those nice blue and orange Coopers from back in the day, and in my scrapbook of clippings from the newspaper as a kid that I busted out on the show, I have several clippings of him in there. And yeah, just absolutely like that is the greatest thing ever. And yeah, to me, it's still funny when all the guys are designing with the old school leather look today. I'm like, man, I couldn't wait to run away from that into some color pads. And I'll admit they're cool, but color pads all day.
I'm sure that transition from the old school no color to the color, I mean, that was probably right when you were playing, right? So like I'm sure that there was a skyrocket in price for goalie pads that were like that, right?
Yeah. I mean, they were unattainable. And I think I wore the brown saddle leather pads until I was in high school. When I acquired the Guillet Bear used pads. So nice. I got my colored pads and they were awesome, but man, the technology in today's pads is so much better.
Yep.
Surprised I didn't injure my knee slamming it into the ice back then.
Oh God. Yeah, it used to not have that knee cradle, right? Like they used to just be flat pads. Like you didn't have something to protect yourself from the force of going down on your knee.
The knee block wasn't a thing until the early 2000s. So.
Yep. Oh yeah. I'm trying to think of an equivalent for me. I think the closest thing I can come to, obviously wood to aluminum sticks and obviously composite sticks, but probably the pop out blade in ice skates, which I guess that relates to goalies too. But for me, it was always the old school, and I say old school, it really wasn't that long ago that this happened. This was probably 13, 14, 15 years ago that we started really getting those pop-out blades. And I remember when the technology came out and it was everyone's fear, which you do kind of see it, was that, oh no, I'm going to be skating and this thing's just going to fly out, and obviously it doesn't do that. You need something to kind of trigger it. And sometimes it is just a stick that gets stuck underneath someone's skate and it ends up popping the blade out. Other times it's, too much force pushing on it. Goalie side to side. I know Binnington, I think it was last season, had a blade come out while he was trying to push from post to post. And yeah, I remember those skates. It was only the high end ones had them. I remember CCM. I want to say it was the Jet Speed. I could be wrong on those, but whatever skates originally had them with CCM, it was their top end, the Jet Speed FT1 or whatever they called them. And it was, these are now $400 more than the other pair, than $200, because it's got the pop out blade technology. And it's just like, yeah, those are going to be standard in skates in like 4 years. That's exactly what happened. And but yeah, it was funny because like the second in line didn't have the pop out, and that was like the big feature they had. And I'm thinking that is definitely going to be something we'll see in standard skates. Which you buy a pair of skates now, it's probably hard to find ones that don't have the pop out technology.
Yeah, I know when I was shopping for my skates several years ago, it was first pair I ever owned with them. Obviously I had the long hiatus, but yeah, there were none available. And if I ever buy new goalie skates again, I'm definitely going to check out the Bauer Connects that are
those are nice.
Yeah, the ski boot style, so no laces. I tend to run into way too many problems with my laces, and so I would love that. There is a company that was making a thing that you could replace your laces with the ski boot style, but they were hard to get. But it's honestly, I haven't looked to see in a couple of years if they are there, but coming out of the pandemic, they just did not have anything. So but yeah, that is an awesome idea for goalies.
Yep, I agree. That's very nice. And yeah, well, Ken Morris says here, I stopped playing in 2006 at age 52 and never used anything other than a wooden stick, preferred Sherwood. I had a friend that stopped playing in 2010, I think, and he was still using a wood stick. And we talked to him to come out and play with us about 2 or 3 years ago now. And he finally came out, and we were like, oh, did you get your skate sharpened? No. Okay. Did you dry out your gear? No. Okay. And then we look over and he's got 2 wooden sticks with him, and we're like, oh boy. Like, it was just funny to see, it's again, it hasn't been that long, but it was like, seeing kind of a throwback, of a guy, using these old skates you could tell from like 2003 and, wood stick. And it was like, you feel it, I mean, not that, we were just kind of messing around, but, if you're kind of bumping with him in front of the net, you can tell the difference between a wood stick and a composite stick, even when you're just kind of messing around. So yeah, I was like, "Ooh, don't hit me too hard, man. I'm not used to those wood sticks anymore."
Yeah. There's such a heft to it, and the solid piece of wood all the way through. Yeah, it'll do some damage, and probably get you 2 or 3 slashing penalties for breaking the composite sticks during a game if you're a defenseman.
I was kind of a late holdout on composite and aluminum, because back in the day it was, aluminum sticks too. Nike was making those. And I remember in 2004 was when I officially full-time switched to composite. I had a teammate hand me a stick in practice, and he was like, dude, just try it. And I'm like, no, man, I like my wood stick. And he's like, no, just try it. I don't remember what it was. It was a Bauer or something or other. I remember it had a Thornton curve on it. And I took a slap shot. First one was like awful, like fell into the boards. Like it was might have been negative miles per hour, how bad it was.
You Patrick Berglund?
Yeah, basically. And then the second one I took, I mean, it was bar down, probably a good 7-8 miles per hour harder than any other shot I'd ever taken with a wood stick. And I just looked at him and I go, yep, I'm going to go to the store right after practice and I'm going to go buy myself a composite stick. And I have not looked back. That was literally the last day that I have played with a wooden stick. So yeah, it was a game changer.
Yeah.
We've got the Big Beaver chiming in. He says, my Red Wings buddy says hi, followed up with a maniacal laugh. I don't know what you're laughing at. You guys have been in the cellar for what, 7 years now? We just kind of were ships passing in the night, right? Because they're kind of starting to actually finally do something. The Iser plan only took about 14 years to take hold. So good for you. Big Beaver also says, hey guys, how we doing? Can we just skip talking Blues unless it's trading Booch? Well, we can't talk about it either because it's not going to happen. Sorry. Bad news for you, but that's not happening. No one's taking that contract. All right. Let's get into our beers of the episode. Official beers of episode number 546. You can follow each of us on the Untapped app. Bill is at Billy Blue Note 33. I am at JPonder 94. I guess, Bill, you know what? Let's switch it up because things have not been working out for us.
Yeah,
I will start.
Our beers dictate how well the Blues do.
We decided that years ago. I mean,
I know.
Pretty clearly that's the case. So we got to stick with it. Side note, my wife was telling me, talking about playing hockey. We were watching, what's her name? Trinity Rodman, the female soccer player. Unbelievable athlete. If you haven't seen her clips, folks, go check them out. She's probably the best player in the world right now. She was on the show we were watching, and she was talking about how something about, I don't know, one of her routines that she does before games. And she says if she doesn't get to do it, she literally would just not play. She wouldn't take the field. And my wife thought that was kind of crazy. And I just laughed and I go, yeah, I have those too. I'm like, Bill, I hate that I'm about to tell you this because I should not be saying this, especially broadcasting it, but I'm going to say it anyway. I don't know if you know this. I cannot be the first one on the rink. Did you know that about me?
No.
I cannot. So, like,
No.
you'll see it. Like, there'll be times.
I can't either, but because I'm slow getting into the locker room.
So the last time that I was the first player on the rink was in high school when I went out, and I even had the superstition before this. And I was first guy out, and I thought, and I'm like, it's fine. Get over it. Deal with it. Second period, break my ankle. And so I'm like, nope. Next time, if this ever happens again, I'm just not going to play. I will just step right back off the rink, take my shit off, and I'm done. And so, yeah, I that's how I feel. And luckily it has not happened since. But my wife thought that was insane. She was like, you literally wouldn't play even now in beer league. And I'm like, no, I would not, because I don't want to jinx myself, because I know I'd be thinking about it the whole time. And then I'm going to do something where I'm going to spear myself in the boards or something. And it's just, I don't want that noise.
Yeah, that's one of the nice benefits of taking almost 20 years off is you forget all the superstitions and nothing's there anymore. So,
yep. All right. Big Beaver says his friend gave me the nod on your Iserman plan in a 14-year statement. Yeah, it's definitely gone a little longer than I think a lot of us planned. But we'll see. It seems like he's starting to turn the corner now. My beer is, again, the Fat Elvis, thanks to Mr. Bill Day. I've got 2 left. So thank you, Bill. And as you can see, drinking it out of my PlayStation glass.
Ooh. So,
yeah, I think this was a present from Kurt, if I remember correctly.
It was. Yeah. Before the allegations, yeah.
Before the allegations, yes. So what are you drinking tonight?
I could have brought out that same glass. So a couple weeks ago, I had the Founders regular KBS that I was clearing out. Well, I popped into Friar Tuck last night as I was, suffering very badly from cabin fever, and found that they had released a caramel KBS.
Ooh.
So I had to try it. I think I've got every one of the different varieties of KBS that have come out over the years, and this one's very good. Not overly sweet, but a nice little extra sweetness. So
good. No, it's good, because a lot of those variants that breweries release, it's like, I'm excited for this, and you try it, it's like, like such a letdown. So that's good to hear that one
Yeah.
still tastes pretty good.
Yeah, some of them get a little too complex, but single flavor ones, this is really good.
Good. Well, let's unfortunately, folks, let's get into some Blues talk. Real quick, I do want to say Joe Schmo in the chat earlier. He says, boys, this season ain't over. The Canucks are elite level losers, but with a few more injuries and that losing spirit, I think we can uncatch them. Now, LGL. And he clarifies and says, BTW, that stands for Let's Go Lose. And then he also clarifies, and that stands for By the Way. Nice string of text there, Joe. Appreciate that.
We need all the clarification we could get tonight. So
we are old. Yeah.
We're old and unhip and slow.
I'm hip. I'm cool. Daka, 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 daka. What movie is that from?
Austin Powers.
Yes. Good man. Good man. I did that once at work and nobody knew what that was. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. All right. Otto Stenberg has been assigned to Springfield, and it's because the Blues hate him and he's terrible, and Jim Montgomery is happy to be rid of him. I'm just kidding. None of that is true. He's appeared in 18 games during his recall to the Blues. He's posted 8 points, including 1 goal. This was something, the minute I saw it, I knew what it was for. But I will say, thanks to this write-up from friend of the show, Lou Korak, I did not know. I have to find the exact wording on the rule because it's very interesting. I don't know if you knew this, Bill. I'm going to read this directly from Lou Korak's post over on, that was on Hockey News. Yes, over on Hockey News. He says he was assigned for the purposes of allowing him to be able to play for the Thunderbirds while the NHL takes a 3-week hiatus for the Winter Olympics in Milan, Italy. I knew that. That was exciting. I was like, yep, I know stuff. And then this was the part that I learned. He said the Blues have 5 more games left before the break, and if Stenberg were to have to play in any of the remaining games leading into the break, he would be entitled to take the time off during the break, and the Blues want him to keep accumulating games and minutes. If Stenberg were to play in any of the 5 remaining games prior to the Olympics, he would not have been eligible to go to the AHL during the time off, so he will not be playing in any of the 5 remaining games prior to Milano Cortina. I did not know that.
It sounds like a collective bargaining thing.
Yes,
because
definitely
of the
is.
entitled to time off piece.
Mm-hmm.
So makes sense. And it sucks being a young worker in this country because man not going to give you time off.
Yep.
You gotta go earn your pay, boy. So go back.
I'll admit that was my first thought. I thought, oh, that really sucks for Stenberg. But then you think about the mindset of a young hockey player. He's probably like, yes, send me down. I want to play. Like, give me all the games you can. I want to go. Like, and he's having a good run this season. So I don't know. I don't want to speak for Stenberg, but I just feel like if I were in his shoes at 20 years old, I would be all about it. Yep, send me down to the AHL. Let me keep playing during the Olympics since I'm not playing for my country.
Yeah, to me, it makes sense, but I think it's the timing of it, because we had heard, oh, he's never going back down again, and it's like nobody bothered to talk to anybody about, hey, are we going to send him down over the break? That shows the level of preparedness of our broadcasters here. Because that's all we heard leading up to it is, think he's found a permanent spot on this team. He's never going back down. Oh, he went back down.
Yep. And again, that again just goes to show that, obviously Lou Korak does his research. I'm sure he probably asked someone that he knows in the NHL. I doubt he sat there and read the entire collective bargaining agreement. Maybe he did. I don't know. I don't want to speak for him, but I just feel like that's probably something you can ask someone in the organization. They're like, oh yeah, this is why, or maybe they leaked it on purpose to him. But either way, I just think this is, this is the right move. You want Stenberg to keep playing. He's playing at such a high level right now. Let him go down to the AHL. And I think for him too, and I think we've kind of saw it with Logan Mailloux with his send down earlier this season. I feel like when guys get sent down when they're, not that, Mailloux is not playing well, but I think it kind of like lets them understand the speed of the game a little bit more. Again, Stenberg's been up here for 18 games now and played well. And his numbers were, I don't want to say pedestrian, but not elite in the AHL. I have to wonder if him going down there now, he's going to be like, whoa, and the game is going to seem so much slower to him. And then he's going to come up and be even better when the Blues get out of this break.
Right. You hope his hockey IQ is such that will allow that, and that going down there he doesn't regress. He's shown that, right? His hockey IQ is off the chart. You play him with better players, and he is a better player. So just don't regress too much while you're down there, buddy.
Yeah, agree. Joe Schmo in the chat asks, does that mean it would be at Stenberg's discretion? Surely he wouldn't refuse. I mean, there's a good possibility that they had the conversation, that Armstrong and Montgomery were like, hey, we want to send you down. But it probably wasn't a, what do you think? It was more of a, what do you think? And if it's like, well, I'd like to stay up and not play during the break, they'd probably be like, okay, we're going to send you down anyway. So yeah. I'm sure it was phrased as a, if you want to, we're going to send you down. But to me, it's a, we want you to keep playing, kid, and we want, and a part of it too, and I hate to say this, you think about the financial side of it, on a two-way deal, he's going to make less money playing in the AHL, right? So that means the Blues don't have to pay him as much to during this break, because the players still get paid, the same. But when they look back at this year, it's like, hey, you made this much at this point in the season because you were playing in the AHL.
Right, and there will be 20 guys already on NHL contracts that are sitting on beaches somewhere, collecting their salary. So, and that was a good point on Hockey Night in Canada, is probably not going to see a lot more trades ahead of the trade deadline, because GMs don't want to assume salary that's just going to be sitting on a beach for a month. So,
yeah, that's true. Did you see the news about Panarin tonight?
Yeah, the Rangers are sitting him and not going to play him ahead of the Olympics.
Yep. So I have to wonder if there's something in the works for him already, or if they're just saying, we want you to stay healthy and we're going to trade you right after the Olympics. Yeah.
I mean, they're probably working on something. And, at this point with, the Rangers season hasn't been as abysmal as the Blues, but it certainly hasn't gone to plan. That locker room needs a shakeup, and so I'm not completely surprised by the move.
Well, we've got plenty more to talk about. There is, unfortunately, and kind of fortunately, there are some injury news here with the team that we will talk about in a little bit. We'll also talk about last night's game, the unfortunate loss to the Dallas Stars, as well as other news, including stuff out of Springfield, not just Stenberg going down. You are listening to Jeff and Bill on Let's Go Blues Radio. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
What are you doing? Have you not subscribed to the Let's Go Blues Minute yet? Do it wherever you get podcasts. It provides a daily look into the St. Louis Blues, filling the gap between Let's Go Blues radio shows. Go to Spotify, go to Apple Podcasts, go to Friendster. I don't care. Just subscribe and get fresh blues content daily. Do it. Like now.
Every hockey team needs that clutch player who knows when to pass, when to shoot, and when to take charge. In real estate, that superstar is Mike Burgoyne of Real Brokerage Realty. Whether you're buying your first home or selling your current one, Mike skates circles around the competition with his knowledge, hustle, and down-to-earth approach. And here's the real zone ability. If you're a first responder, veteran, doctor, nurse, teacher, or even just a loyal Let's Go Blues radio listener, you'll score special rates when you work with Mike. Got questions? Fire them at him. He'll answer quicker than Bill Day's glove hand. Obstacles in your way? He'll plow through them harder than I would in a goalmouth scramble. And when it comes time to close, he'll put it in the back of the net faster than a Kurt Price shot from the slot. So don't just settle for an ordinary realtor. Get the MVP on your side. Visit strikewithmike.com or email him at mike@strikewithmike.com today. Mike Burgoyne, the real estate teammate you can always count on.
Is your business wanting to advertise but not wanting to break the bank? Are you wanting to target 20 to 60-somethings for your product or service? We can help. The Let's Go Blues radio team is currently accepting new advertisers for our live shows and at our website, letsgoblues.com. Pricing starts at just $10 per month. Go to letsgoblues.com/advertising to learn more.
And now, back to Let's Go Blues Radio, the longest running St. Louis Blues podcast with Price, Ponder, and Day.
All right. Well, oh boy. Ken Morris in the chat. If the three gents of Let's Go Blues Radio were a rock band, they would be ZZ Top. Kurt Price would be Frank Beard, Jeff Ponder, Dusty Hill, and Bill Day, Billy Gibbons. Well, that works for you, for sure. Yeah, there's some great ZZ. My dad was a big ZZ Top fan. I remember rocking out to ZZ Top when we were driving to Springfield to see my brother, and my mom always used to go nuts. She'd just be like, "Can you turn that crap off?" And then he'd turn on Johnny Cash and piss her off even more. So, yeah, good times, good childhood memories. Baked Beaver says they have been tossing Panarin trade ideas for a while. Light Sound Geometry, Blues needed this. Blues need a game breaker to build around. Talking about losing. Yeah, I get that. The Rangers have absolutely sucked at home in MSG. Yes, they have. They started the season off like the first 3 games they didn't score a goal at MSG, something like that. Yeah, which is crazy. Struggles at home. Well, we know nothing about that. So Pius Suter apparently will be back soon, which is great for him. I'll admit I was a little concerned with that injury. I'm like, oh boy, like he's got the Olympics coming up. He gets to play for Switzerland, his first time playing for his team in the Olympics. So I was like, oh man, obviously I'm more worried about him playing as a Blue, but it's such an honor to be selected to your Olympic team. So, but apparently, so he has not played since December 27th when he sustained a high ankle sprain. He's missed the past 13 games. Montgomery said that, and he has been full practicing, I think since Monday or Tuesday. I believe it was Monday. He says, I would expect this from Montgomery. I would expect at some point in the next week, if everything continues to progress. I don't know if that means Thursday, if that means Saturday, if that means the road trip, but should be a player soon. So we got a couple more injuries that occurred last night, luckily day to day, which we'll mention in a minute, but Blues might be getting one of their centers back as both him and Robert Thomas have been out for some time. And you can tell the center depth has very much been struggling as Pavel Buchnevich has been relied on to take many faceoffs. And as I've said in the past, I don't like him as a player at all, but I really don't like him as a center.
Yeah. The faceoff statistics have just plummeted. Dvorsky's getting better, but he's still a rookie and going to get dominated by elite centers. So, it's rough right now.
Yep, it is. And yeah, I don't know if you saw the quote from, I think it was Montgomery, when he called out lines. I guess Dvorsky asked in front of the team, so am I on, because he was playing with Shen, and he said, so I'm on left wing or on center? And apparently Shen stood up right away and said, kid, you're the center. That's your natural position. So you're playing center. And I'm like, man, everything I know there's a lot of vitriol around Braden Shen, but man, as a captain, and I know I've said this before, I am such a fan of him. Yeah. Everything I've heard is he's a tremendous captain.
Yeah, he's in, the ESPN trade board right now, or not the ESPN, because who cares about ESPN's hockey coverage?
Athletics.
The Athletics.
Yeah.
So he Robert Thomas is in, I think, number 6 on that list now. But Falk, so is Falk, Shen,
and I think
Bennington,
Thomas is on there now too.
Thomas
right?
and Kyrou are all on there. So the only one I think is definitely gone is Justin Falk. He's having such a good year, and the Blues are going to be sellers. They're not going to make a move for something cheap, but I think he'll be gone. But I think it would be a mistake to trade Shen. Don't trade your captain on a team that needs to learn leadership skills.
I will say, if you're blown away with an offer, I think you do it. Oh, we lost Bill there for a second. I'm bringing him back. I'd say if there you are. Hey, buddy, missed you.
Yeah, where'd you go? I was right here
Oh.
the whole time.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, totally my fault. But no, Shen trade. Yeah. I think if you get absolutely blown away with an offer, you take it. But for me, I agree with you. I think if you can hold on, if it's like, oh, we're going to just trade him, get a 3rd round, 4th round pick, I hold on to him. I think he's more valuable than that. And not even in play, even though he scored 2 goals last night. I'm with you. I think he's a great leader. He's, to me, he's up there as one of the best captains in my lifetime, which is saying a lot because the Blues have had some incredible captains. But for me,
Eric Brewer,
yeah, Dallas Drake for sure. But no, I just think he's just one of those guys, and they talk about it on the broadcast all the time, and I agree with them 100% that, he's just kind of what you expect from a captain. And, I just definitely do not want to see him go if we can hold on to him. We've got Light Sound Geometry sounding off a lot in the chat here. He says, which I'm going to agree with his first couple of statements here. He says, why did Army sign Buchnevich and Fowler? How many bad contracts has Army given out? That's something we've said for 15 years that on this show, that Doug Armstrong, excellent in the trade market, not great at signing contracts.
Well, Buchnevich, like he was already showing inconsistency when they signed him. I thought that was terrible. Fowler, how much did we bitch about the Blues defense? Fowler came along and stabilized the team. After he got here last year, they stabilized the backside, the back end, thought he was the answer. And, look at the run we went on at the end of the year. Not saying he was the entire impetus, but he seemed to have solved a lot of the defensive problems. And then this year started, and it was like, he must have got Nick Leddy's stall because he got whatever germs and they've taken over his.
I hope they've burned that stall.
Yeah.
Like a whole sacrimonious, like, let's burn this stall down. Doesn't seem that way. But no, I agree. It just goes to show. Excellent trade, terrible signing. Same thing with Buchnevich. I mean, the trade when they got him, it was incredible. It's exactly what the Blues needed. But then he signed him to this other deal that is awful. And Fowler not looking too much better right now. One of the worst players analytically the Blues have had all season. And that's saying, I mean, that downturn is quicker than anyone we've seen with this organization. That's why I'm hoping this is a blip on Fowler, because he was so good in Anaheim too. And, obviously he elevated his game even more when he came here last season, but this year, so I just hope it's just a weird blip.
Right. This defense this year, right? With the exception of Tyler Tucker.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Sorry, it's been a while. But Adam Gold said it in the chat. I'm like, all right, I got to do it.
And I have a comment for him after I complete my thought. So,
okay.
Wait, what was my thought? What was I talking about? It's 10 p.m. Cam Fowler. With the exception of Tyler Tucker this year, Blues defense has shown it's not one guy it's not the same pairing every night. That's terrible. There are games, when the Mayu Fowler line is by far the worst analytically on the ice and on the eye test. And then the next game, they're the best. Right. So it drives me insane with this defense because you don't know who's going to be bad. But every night somebody is abjectly terrible. And unfortunately, over this last 5-game run, it's been Broberg and Parayko.
Yes.
Now, the limited time I got to see Broberg and Mayu play together, I thought they looked good, but they're not going to get a run out because Broberg plays too many minutes and they still don't trust Mayo. But yeah,
I
it's
will say, as weird as this
just
sounds,
confounding.
as weird as this sounds, because it has not worked early in this season. I'd love to see, as much as Montgomery loves to shuffle the offensive lines, give me a change up now on the defense. Not saying do it all the time, but let's get the pairings back to what they were last season. Let's get Parayko and Fowler, see what they could do together. Broberg and Falk, and then unfortunately you're stuck with Tyler Tucker back there with Logan Mailloux.
Just fucking cut him already.
I know.
Please.
That's
I am so done watching that guy try to play hockey. I mean, that goal last night, the first Stars goal, where Rantanen just looked him off and then threaded a pass that NHL caliber defenseman doesn't let get through his legs. Right? It was a world-class play, but Tucker has just like
why is he constantly trotted out on the penalty kill too? I don't understand that at all.
Right. And that's this team is in major need of a complete defensive overhaul. And I know that the defense in this team has always relied on solid back checking forwards, but something has got to give. And we thought we applauded when Mike Van Ryn finally got sent out of town, but after last year's success, the Mike Weber show is not much better than the Mike Van Ryn show.
No, might be a new voice is needed. Ace in the chat says, yep, Tucker is horrible. Bill, I'm going to go ahead. We've got some Kyrou neighbors news, but it kind of relates to this game. So let's go ahead and jump in talking about last night's game, because we're talking about Tyler Tucker right now, and I don't want to go back to it. Blues lost this game 4-3 in an extremely similar fashion to the way they lost to the Dallas Stars last week. And if you're confused what I mean by that, first of all, Blues gave up a goal exactly a minute left on Friday against the Stars. They gave up a goal with 1:07 remaining against the Stars, and it all started because of an ill-advised icing. And this one, the ones on Friday were Broberg and Parayko, both iced the puck right away with no reason at all. And then in this game, it was Tyler Tucker. Now, I will say, I'm trying to find the quote right now. Yeah, okay, here it is. So what happened in this game was, so it was Tyler Tucker had the puck coming out of his zone. He tried to find Alexei Toropchenko, and it was down the left side. The puck caromed off the boards, bounced up and over Toropchenko's stick, and skipped all the way to the far end, resulting in a stoppage. Nick Bukestad then lost the ensuing faceoff to Wyatt Johnston, and Thomas Harley scored the game-winning goal with 1:07 left. I don't know if you saw Jim Montgomery's quote on this, Bill. He said, we have complete momentum in the game, and that icing actually, I believe it was Tucker, it hits the boards and it jumps up 5 feet. I think Torpo couldn't get a stick on it. That's a physical thing with the boards. It's not a mental mistake. It's not like we panicked. We actually made a real sound play. The puck hit the boards toward the end of the period. The boards are snowy. It hits snow, and it's going to pop like that. And then you need an Albert Pujols to knock it out of the air there. I'm sorry, Jim Montgomery. I think he is fully just trying to protect his player.
Mm-hmm.
It was a horrible decision by Tyler Tucker.
Right.
First of all,
you're going up the left side to a left-handed player. Yeah, not a good pass, right?
No, not a good pass. And I'll say he could have skated the puck up further. He had more room, and
How
he
has
decided
this dude not learned that lesson after last year.
Never will, Bill. And so he has the opportunity to skate it up a little bit more. Doesn't take it. Which, hey, you see your winger on the far boards. You want to go for a change. I kind of get that, but why are you shooting it up the boards? Give him a soft pass, carry him off the boards softly, and let it land at the other team's blue line, which is where Toropchenko was. Don't fire it down and expect the puck to just play nice with you and slow down where you want it to. And for Montgomery to say, oh, it's a physical thing with the boards. We didn't panic. It was a sound play. The boards. It was the boards. It was the snowy ice. These players play on this ice every single day. They know how this ice operates.
And a player with hockey IQ knows that, right?
Yes.
You're not going to try to make that pass. If you aren't confident skating it out because you think you might get picked, chip it. Just chip it. Don't try to ice it. Just loft it up. That play, I forget what year it was, but that salvaged the Blues season a few years ago when they stopped trying to make stretch passes and just threw it up for 50-50 pucks in the neutral zone, or threw it to the defensive, the opposite blue line, right? And they don't trust anybody to do that.
I don't know if you saw Chris Kerber actually called out Lou Korak today. Both friends of the show, by the way. He actually called him out today because he said the same thing I'm saying, that, that's just a bad play by Tucker. And he actually quote tweeted him and said, oh, that's an unfortunate play. You can't put that on Tucker. And I'm sorry, Curbs, disagree. That is a horrible play. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about it other than why is Tyler Tucker still on this hockey team?
Yeah, I lost it, but somebody, my vote for comment of the show was whoever commented earlier when I got booted. I lost the original chats. Whoever commented when we were talking about the Blues broadcast team, you mean the FanDuel odds maker announcers? Because that's really what they've become.
All right, here we go. Comment of the show goes to our friend Joe Schmo.
That's right. It was Joe.
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
And he said, broadcasting team, you mean the FanDuel odds maker reporting team. There you go, Bill. You get to claim it tonight. So good work.
Yes. That was, I meant to call it out, but again, when I got booted, I lost it. So glad my old man memory still works a little bit.
I will say that if the Blues were to trade Falk, trade Shen, basically have a little bit of a fire sale, and they start playing Tyler Tucker, keep him in the lineup, I'm okay with that. Because at that point, you pretty much are saying, yeah, let's just lose and hope we get the first pick. But now, I feel like they're
earmuffs, Adam.
Right. But yeah, I feel like they're still thinking they can be competitive. I'm sorry, there is no competitive team in the NHL that is rolling out a Tyler Tucker every single night. Again, at best, he's your 7th defenseman, but the Blues play him like he's a 5 or 6. And even with Suter last year, like he played a lot better with Ryan Suter back there with him.
Right.
I was still like, there's got to be a better option than Tyler Tucker.
Yeah. No.
Even though he's playing okay.
I think I referred to him earlier this year, Ryan Suter, as the Tyler Tucker whisperer, because I think that's what he was. He made Tyler Tucker look like a serviceable NHL defenseman, and the absence is very noticeable this year.
Yes, he is lost out there. Well, and again, I saw somebody say, well, you don't want to send him down because you'll go through waivers. Please. I mean, again, I'm fine with him staying with the organization and the every now and then call up because he's got NHL experience. But for me, not an everyday guy. Absolutely not. And should be in the AHL most of his career. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a situation like we saw with Jeff Wojciechowski and Alexander Havanov, who I was never a fan of either. And I'm going back here. Those guys were everyday defensemen on the Blues. And the minute they went somewhere else, they were gone within a half season. And that's exactly what's going to happen with Tyler Tucker. Havanov went to the Leafs. They were all excited. Oh, we get an offensive defenseman. He was gone within a half season, down playing with the Toronto Marlies.
Wow. That was also the time frame. So Sasha Havanov was part of that big third period comeback team.
Right.
So that's burned into the Leafs fans' minds.
That's true.
So
that's true.
And their management. And this was also during that same time frame when they accidentally signed Jeff Finger to a $3 billion a year contract or whatever it was. So Not the best of times for
think
John
it was
Ferguson.
5.
Was it 5? Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was astonishing, and they got the wrong guy.
Yeah, I don't know if that's look up that story, folks. We won't retell it here, but yes, Toronto literally signed a guy, the wrong guy, to a contract. They had plans, they had a contract inked out, and they literally called the wrong guy and inked him to the contract. Which Jeff Finger's agent was like, sign this right now. Do this right effing now.
You're going to be the most hated man in Toronto, but you're going to be very well paid.
You and I will be very rich. And so again, the other one with me is, and I will say, I think the worst player I have ever seen suit up for the St. Louis Blues, Jeff Wojciechowski, was another guy. He goes to Dallas within a half season, doesn't play in the NHL again after he leaves. So for me, I think that's going to be Tyler Tucker. Somebody's going to pick him up because going to be like, well, the Blues trusted this guy. He's a tough guy. He throws out hits. He fights. And then halfway through the season, they're going to be like, whoa, get rid of this guy. Nobody else will give him a chance. That is the future for Tyler Tucker. Sorry to pick on one guy, but my word, does not belong in this league.
Yeah.
All right. So again with this game, a lot happened in this one. So let's talk about some positive. So obviously the Blues go down 3-0 in this game. Actually, before we get into that, there was a question aimed at you that I wanted to get to.
Was it with if Hofer's in net to
yeah,
see a
yep,
different outcome?
Yep.
I don't think so. I don't think so. 3 weeks ago when Hofer was on the run that he was on, but right now they're both back to playing as the team goes. I don't think his extra large stature makes up for that puck going off of Joseph. God, my mind, today is taking it out of me. Off of Joseph's stick, right? I don't think you can't fault Bennington on that goal last night. He at this point I got to see Bennington's shutout for the year is how I'm looking at it when I saw him shut out Montreal. That was going to be his best game of the year. And you can expect him to give up at least 2 goals a game, probably 3, maybe 4. And if he gets to 4, it's probably 6. But I don't think in this case, having Hofer in net was going to make a difference in that puck going in the net. I think it was, just at the point Tyler Tucker makes that play, it's everybody knew what was going to happen. And unfortunately, even more painfully for me, Harley getting the game-winning goal was an extra dagger in my fantasy league. I'm on a pretty good roll right now, but that puts some distance in my current matchup. So really hated it.
Showcasing some of the live chat we got going here. Well, Bill was, I don't know, whatever he was talking about. I wasn't listening. Just kidding. But there was there was a question in there from Ken Morris as well that asked, is Kerber a St. Louis guy? And then Lights on Geometry responded and said, I think Kerber is from New Jersey. Maybe he was born there, but I know he grew up in St. Louis.
Yeah, no, he's a St. Louis guy, and he put his time in, right? I'm not going to disparage the path that he took to get to the NHL, but maybe it's unfortunate that he's come to TV the year that FanDuel is doing whatever it can to pimp its product before it goes out of business. But it's definitely not enjoyable this year.
I want to say, I could be wrong on this, that I'm trying to look it up right now. I want to say Kerber went to SLU High, because I know that's important for all of us, what high school he went to. I'll have to ask him.
I thought it was maybe Parkway West, and then he
was a Baldwin guy. I know that.
And then he went to Miami of Ohio for college because he always, every time there's a Miami, Ohio alum in a game, he's got to call it out and pisses Kerber or pisses Vitale off.
Yep.
So.
Okay. Yeah, that might be right. Yeah, that sounds right. I again, I know he was a Baldwin guy, so not that matters to Ken Morris. He probably doesn't even know what Baldwin is. But for those that don't know, who listen to the show or Blues fans, that is a big thing in St. Louis. What high school did you go to? And so for us, that's why it was such a big deal when I got Mid-States to sponsor the Let's Go Blues Minute, because I was like, oh, that is so cool. I get to talk about high schools. Because we're weird, and for some reason, actually, I can tell you exactly why the reason is, Bill. Maybe you have a different thought. It's because, to me, I think when you find out what high school somebody went to in the area, you know what part of to be honest, we are so segregated as opposed to other cities. So it kind of gives you an idea of where somebody grew up in this segregated area of the country.
Right. It totally gives you, it doesn't always work. Case in point, me and
yes,
my two carpool buddies, one of whom is an assistant coach for the Philadelphia Flyers this year. We went to CBC, but we were from Illinois. Very short drive, 15 minutes when there's no traffic, and you're in high school driving like maniacs. But yeah, it is just the weirdest St. Louis thing. And you know where all the celebrities from St. Louis went to high school because it's such a St. Louis thing. John Hamm, John Burroughs. The girls from The Office were Narinks.
John Hamm also taught at John Burroughs too, correct?
Yeah, he was, I think, acting.
Drama teacher. Yeah. I think Ellie Kemper was one of his students, which is crazy to think about. But that we'll have that on our next show, the Toasted Ravioli Special, St. Louis edition. But no. So back to this game. The
Don't
positives.
Come at me with Prevel.
Oh, you're like my wife, not a big Emos fan, huh?
I won't say it on air, but I'll tell you my critique of Emos off air.
Oh boy. Okay, I'm excited to hear this. So again, in the third period, the Blues did get 3 goals. First one, which I do want to ask you about this one. Robbie Fabry did score his first goal since coming back to the St. Louis Blues, which was really awesome. I mean, it's in itself a very exciting moment. But the play was challenged for offside by the Dallas Stars. Obviously, the goal was held up. It was quite a lengthy review. And it deemed that. So what happened was he's bringing the puck. Who was it that was bringing the puck in? Was it Buchnevich?
Shen, I thought.
Shen. Yeah, I think you're right. It was Shen. And he brings it into the zone. And Matthew Joseph was coming out of the zone. So he was in the zone, starts to come out. And basically,
Falk.
It was Falk. You're right. It was Falk. Yep. So Falk's bringing the puck in. Joseph's trying to come out. It did look on first glance on the replay like, ooh, I think he's offside. But the way that the NHL called it, apparently, this is what they said in the broadcast, was that Falk technically did not have full possession of the puck as he was coming into the zone. And so that's why they deemed it to not be offside and let the goal stand. That might be true. It was hard to tell with the angles. They always say that they have different angles we don't see, which I'm just like, that is bullshit. You want people to complain about like biases and that kind of thing. And you're like, no, we don't do that. But then you go and say, oh, but we've got these angles that nobody else can see.
The top secret camera is buried in the ice.
Yeah.
At the blue line.
Look. But no, I'll say so. From my thought was with how close Joseph was on the left wing boards and where the camera angles are, it looked like it was possible that his toe was at the blue line. And it was very hard to tell. And John Butchgross actually called it out really well, I thought, on the broadcast too, where it did look like there was a defender on the Stars that kind of tried to be in the way of Joseph. Now, that's not illegal if he's just standing there. Not like he hit him, but he looked like he was kind of trying to hinder him from coming out of the zone. So I think with all that included, my thought was, to me, this is inconclusive. I don't think you can't take away what the referee called. That was my thought when I was watching it live. I'm like, no, it's got to stand. To me, the evidence isn't there to overturn it, which I'll say, just as a side note, in situations like that, I think the Stars should not have been penalized, because if it's inconclusive, to me, that's not a definite yes. But either way, just saying, that was my thought on the goal. What did you think?
So honestly, I didn't catch it live because I had to go wrangle a dog out of the backyard at that point. And when I came back, I saw that
I wish you'd stop talking about Julie like that. She doesn't listen to the show, right?
No, but I can't say that her friends and family don't. So
Hey, friends and family, I'm totally kidding.
yeah,
Wonderful woman.
no. Yeah, we're dealing with a less than 100% mobile Sheldon right now. So I was outside helping that guy in, and when I came back in, I'm like, wait, what? We scored?
Yep.
And then they're like, after a lengthy review, that stands. I'm like, oh, glad I was outside that, because I hate lengthy reviews. But yeah, when I went back and saw it, I think that it was the right call. Go back to, won't go through the entire game, but go back to the Kings game, and the Blues challenged in that game for an offside for Armia, whether or not he had full control when he went across. And in that case, they said he did. This is the same analysis, but saying Falk didn't have it allows Joseph to tag up. And that was the difference here. I thought it was the right call at the end of the day. And awesome to see Robbie Fabry score a goal against the Dallas Stars. Brings me back to 2019.
Yep, me too. Beautiful stuff. And I did love seeing him get on the board too. I mean, I'm not like I was never like a crazy Robbie Fabry fan like a lot of people are, but I mean, seems like a very good guy. Definitely had his struggles staying in the NHL with the injuries and just cracking lineups. So no, I was very happy for him to see him be able to pull it out, and a nice move too, honestly.
Right. He made a very good defenseman in Thomas Harley look pedestrian with that. Turn him inside out. Great move.
Goes to show, I think, what could have been for Robbie Fabry had he had not had those horrific knee injuries.
Those fluke knee injuries.
Yep. Unfortunate. But hey, again, glad to see him in a Blues uniform. Glad to see him get on the board. And how about that? Basically steps into the lineup for Otto Stenberg and scores the first Blues goal. So love seeing that from him.
Yeah.
And then Brayden,
and we're going to see a lot of them. That was a comment in the chat. Right, We're going to see a lot of him with the injuries we accumulated last night, and Stenberg being down for the break.
Yep. So the Blues also, and Tyler Tucker, by the way, got an assist on that goal. So totally redeems himself, right? No, not true. Brayden Schenn scored the other 2 goals for the Blues. Jimmy Snuggerud gets an assist on each of those. Dalibor Dvorsky extends his point streak, which is incredible. Good for him. Young rookie doing some good stuff. Well, both of them, honestly. Jimmy Snuggerud too. But love these plays, and I'm starting to like, and I'm with you, when Robert Thomas comes back, I do want to see Snuggerud on his wing, and I'm with you. I think they need to force it and just say, you two, every time one of you's hopping over the boards, the other one's going with you. Like, I want to see that. But I will say, I do think him and Brayden Schenn are starting to find some chemistry together as well.
They have great chemistry. And I think depending on who is injured at the point that Thomas comes back, who's still on IR, that would actually not be a terrible line. Schenn with Thomas and Snuggie. I mean, it's insane how much he is shooting the puck and not scoring. That him putting it off the post, he totally had Ottinger beat short side and rang the post. Great pass from Schenn. But he set up both of those Schenn goals with extraordinary passes. So it's a matter of time for the puck to start going in for him, and when it does, he's gonna start bagging a bunch, right?
Yep.
And so with the unfortunate injury to Jordan Kyrou in this game, I think this is the opportunity, if Thomas is back, in the next couple of games, put them together. Not that Thomas and Kyrou were a thing game in and game out, but at this point, with all, losing both Neighbors, right? Because Neighbors was one of the guys that was pushing top line and was playing with Thomas. With both of those guys out of the lineup, we're really struggling to field a highly competent top line. Now's the time to do it. Force it.
Yep.
Right.
Yep, I agree.
This season, I got to the point this week to say this season is a write-off for the Blues, right? We're a few points out, a good run gets us in there. I don't want it. And now with these injuries, I'm like, now this is the time just to experiment. Who cares what the results are? We probably want to lose. I'm not saying tank, but who cares? What's your reward? Colorado in the first round? No, don't do it. Top five in a draft that the Athletic reported this is every week it's getting better, right? The depth of this draft. So we need that top 5 pick. I think it's more important. Again, not saying tank, but I'm not going to be upset if we lose a whole bunch.
I'm with Joe Schmo. Bill obviously as well, but Shen, Thomas, Snuggie sounds good. Grit, puck retrieval, puck control, passing, and Snuggie with the one-timer finish. Yeah, and with Shen driving the net, I mean, right there, perfect. We saw Stuggerud last night make a very good play. Oh man, who was the defenseman for the tying goal? Oh my goodness, drawing a blank on who it was, but might have been Harley. Was it Harley? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
He had behind the net until he scored the winner.
Yeah, skates behind the net, and Stuggerud just stayed with the play and took the puck, found Shen, and Blues score, and it's a tie game. So I just love the puck retrieval from him. Yeah, I'll admit, for Stuggerud, obviously his shot is great. Great eye for the net, excellent in the offensive zone. But I think for me, the thing that I'm most impressed about with Stuggerud is his ability to not give up on plays. He would have fit in really well with the 19 team because he's a guy that, like, he'll get beat. There'll be a guy, a defenseman trying to skate past him, and he'll get beat, but then he's right behind him, and he's staying with him. He's not giving up. And I know it's unfair probably at this point to say this about Kyrou, but we all used to complain about back in the day, was that the 22 or 21 playoffs when the Blues lost to the Avalanche, the play where McKinnon literally skated by Kyrou and he just stood at center ice, didn't move, and McKinnon scored. I think it was the game winner or the game tire or whatever it was. And
coast to coast.
I always remember that because I'm like, Kyrou, you are the one guy on this team that could keep up with McKinnon, and you didn't even try. And I'm seeing a guy like Jimmy Stuggerud, who not the most fleet of foot. I mean, he's not slow, but he's not the fastest guy even on this team. But he's a guy who does not quit. And I love seeing that in a guy who especially can play top 6 minutes.
Yeah, doesn't quit, puts himself in great positions on both sides of the puck, both ends of the ice. He is going to be a stud. Like I said, once a few of these things that aren't going in right now start going in, he is going to bag a whole bunch of goals. Unfortunately, way too late for him to be anywhere in the Calder conversation this year, as we, at least as I hoped at the outset of the season. But man, he is a great player in that never give up attitude, right? You talked at length about Kyrou. My thing with Robert Thomas, and there was a comment that TJ Oshie made in the game last night about Shen being a great leader. when nothing was going the Blues way, and they were starting, you could see the frustration. Oshie said, as a leader, Shen is telling them, you do not show the other team you're getting frustrated. They're going to exploit you.
Yes.
And I think that's the problem with Robert Thomas, is he wears his frustration on his sleeve. You know, the second that he's getting frustrated, and he becomes so much less effective. And
hey, Bill, look, who am I?
Robert Thomas.
After missing a shot, right?
Yes.
Every single time
right.
the goalie makes a nice save or he misses the net on a shot, his head is in the rafters all the way to the bench.
Right.
And it's just like, dude, forget about it and keep going.
Right. And I think that's the part of his game that he's got to fix. And if he was moved out at this point, I could see that being a reason why, right? That he didn't understand the resilience you need to play to become an elite player at this level. It's frustrating, and we do want players who are emotional, but not like that, right? You can't show it. So hopefully when he comes back, things go well. He doesn't go right back on IR or anything, but yeah, I think that has become my biggest complaint about his game, is just he brings a negative energy to the club when he's in that mode.
I see our friend Winning Unlimited, Adam Gold, is in the chat, so I just want to make sure that I voice my opinion on this. Tanking is the greatest thing that's ever happened to sports. There should be no competition after a team is eliminated officially from the playoffs. And I think that there's no other way to do it. And whatever women's hockey is doing right now is so freaking stupid. I'm kidding, buddy. Of course.
Yeah. So while we're talking to Adam, have you seen the beauties that PWHL did in collaboration with the Tragically Hip? Oh my God, I so need to get one of these jerseys. I just don't know if they're available south of the border. So I'm gonna have to.
Toronto that did it?
I thought it was league wide. It was.
Oh yeah, it was. I think you're right.
Yeah, so I absolutely would do that. Absolutely love the Hip. Listen to the Hip every drive to the rink now. That is my pump up hockey music. So
Bill, I think I'm gonna have to send you something here. Oh, it's only t-shirts.
Yeah. It might. I wonder if they were limited edition jerseys only sold at the game or something. But
yes, it's a big drop and are on the US shop. That's what he says. So go check that out, Bill. If not, Winning Unlimited, you can hook him up, right? You got connections. Let's see it. Come on. It's about time we saw a little scratch from this show, right? Like, come on. In this game, Jordan Kyrou and Jake Neighbors, unfortunately, as we've kind of alluded to, both injured. Jim Montgomery did say today, though, that they've had further evaluations on the injuries. He said, quote, "It's good news on both. Day to day, not sure how quickly they'll be players again. It shouldn't be long. Don't know if they're players Thursday. Doubtful, but it's good news. It's not going to be long." So, I see we've got a very special comment here in the chat from Cats and Rats podcast. That's a Panthers podcast, folks. Big game tomorrow night. We should have we should have done a collaborative show and done a preview. So, but too late now. Not going to happen. We'll probably never talk to you again, Cats and Rats. But go ahead and drop in the chat there, Cats and Rats, how people can find your show. And anyone, if you're doing any kind of preview or recap show or anything for the big game tomorrow night, tell your boys to take it easy on us. We are a very low, downtrodden team right now.
Yeah, no, I think they will exact some revenge for us going down there and beating them on their home rink.
Was that our last road win? I think it was.
It must. Yes, it was.
I'm gonna look real quick, but I believe so. Let's see. Loss. Look at all the losses, Bill. So many losses.
Yes.
I feel like Don Knotts. That's a good Don Knotts movie. Don Knotts and the Blues losses. Oh, why are there so many losses? Too many losses. That's a good joke for Ken Morris. You get that one, right, buddy? Let's see. Yep, last road win, December 20th, the Florida Panthers. My goodness. Yeah, my goodness. Ace in the chat says, if you guys have time, what is a realistic contract for Holloway with the injuries? Very quick answer for me. He's got to come back, and I think you got to wait until offseason. Probably work out a bridge deal for me. That's the way I see it. I don't think you can sign him anything long-term at this point.
Yeah, I mean, as great a coup as that was, and us, him probably being the difference in us beating Winnipeg last year, and obviously we didn't. I think you can't, especially with the injury this year, right? And we didn't even talk about that, right? He came back one game, the high ankle sprain, and he's back out. So, those things are very difficult. There was like an epidemic of those in the like mid 2000s across the league, and it's like nobody's ever going to come back from this injury now. And hopefully, it's a minor setback, and he'll be back in the lineup soon. But with his inability to stay healthy for long stretches, you cannot give him Kyrou and Buchnevich term at this point. Give him the bridge deal. Let him show that he can play a full 82 or close to 82 games in a season, and then see what you have long term. But with this team, they should, and with Steen, hopefully he doesn't start slinging out the long term contracts right away. I want to see a more measured approach, as opposed to the Doug Armstrong, kill him with term.
LSG, I'm not going to lie to you. I hope you are way off here. He says he actually had 63 points last season. So I'm thinking 6 to 8 million, maybe around 8 million. No, I'm not signing that right now. Again, I do think that's more of the player we know he is, but we need to see it more than one season. So do not lock him up to I'd say at this point, right, I'm looking at a bridge deal worth 3.5 to 5, somewhere in there.
I think it's got to be at least 5 to 6, because the cap's up. You can't get a player of that caliber that cheap, right? He's not like 3.5 to 5. Like, that's Toropchenko money.
Are you saying now that I'm too old for the game?
You are dating yourself on your salary cap, like IQ.
Dating myself. That's what I used to do in college. That's what I called it, at least. Cats and Rats podcast. I was between a pallbearer and Don Knotts impersonation. I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you. Pallbearer. Oh, Bill, do you even know who that is?
Yes.
Oh, man.
I have enough wrestling knowledge to understand who that is.
That guy creeped me out. Cats and Rats also adds, we'll be doing a post-game show tomorrow night. Fans can join us live or catch replay NHL After Dark Saturday nights live on our channel. Thanks. That's for those of you listening or can't see this. It is Cats, the letter N, Rats podcast on YouTube. Give them a look, and hey, join in their chat and give them hell after the Blues and Panthers play tomorrow night.
Right. After Tyler Tucker scores the late winner for the Blues tomorrow, go in and just rub the salt.
Yep. And talk about how horrible the Let's Go Blues radio hosts are for talking smack on Tyler Tucker. All right. So, again, back to those injuries real quick. Neighbors, it was a lower body injury, blocked a shot from I almost said Esa Lindell in the first period. If he's blocking a shot from Esa Tikkanen, where is he playing hockey right now? Good Lord.
Yeah, that's he's playing 20 years ago at this point.
Yeah, I forgot about
25 years ago.
I forgot about Jake Jake Neighbors and his time machine that he built.
They describe him as an old school type player. So,
well, he actually borrowed the time machine from Brett Hall when he went into the year 2094 and fought the robot team. You remember that?
Yeah.
When he traveled to the future and beat the robots?
Right, in the McDonald's comic book series, right?
I believe it was a docu-series, actually.
Oh,
I think it was a real thing. Just ask Brett about it. Kyrou was clipped in the third period and sustained an upper body injury. According to Jim Montgomery, he said, quote, "I thought it was an interference penalty on the play. You don't end up with a bloody nose with nothing happening, but unfortunately it wasn't seen." Yeah, I saw him with the bloody nose. Maybe I had turned away when it happened, but I thought, that's odd. He wasn't hit with the puck. So I'm like, clearly something happened. But when I saw this quote from Montgomery, I'm like, oh, that's what happened to Kyrou.
Yeah, I went back and watched all the extended highlights I could find tonight, hoping to see something, and nobody apparently caught it.
Nope. All right. Well, anything else with this game other than almost a mirror of the game on Friday?
Yeah, so disappointing. But I think what we can expect for most of the rest of the season at this point.
Yep. So looking back, Friday last week, the Blues lost 4-3 to Enterprise Center. Wait.
Saturday.
I know. I'm making a joke. Talking about how this game was so similar. The Blues lost that one 3-2. Jordan Binnington also in net for that one. Pavel Buchnevich had a goal and an assist. Jason Robertson, this is the one he scored the game-winning goal at 1 minute exactly in the third after 2 consecutive icings from Parayko and Broberg. And yeah, I agree. You mentioned that their play has been down as of late. Yes, this game in particular, I did not like the way they played. And then I'll admit, I think it was Parayko with the first icing. I said out loud, that is going to bite us in the ass.
Yep.
And then Broberg did it again, and I said, that is definitely going to bite us in the ass. And it was right off the faceoff. Jason Robertson skates through, 2 Blues and roofs it over Binnington.
He got between Parayko and Broberg, and Broberg needed a much heavier stick. But hey, when you're out there after 2 icings, one of which you caused, you're tired. And yeah, it's, Four Nations, Jordan Binnington might make that save, but 2026 Jordan Binnington, it isn't.
Right. And again, I know a lot of people were, I saw somebody come, which we always complain about this, somebody said he had an awful game. He'd stop playing, send him to the AHL, trade him, blah, 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 blah. And somebody responded back and said, how do you blame him on any of those goals? And then he said, come on, man, 16 saves. Are you kidding me? Okay. Look at the context of the game. A lot of those chances were very good. And I thought the 3 goals were all legit goals. And I'll agree. That is a save that we've seen Jordan Binnington make, but that's a supreme shot. That is a should be U.S. Olympian shot.
Right. He is that goal. Fuck you, Bill Guarantor right now. So
yes.
He's playing with a little more gumption in his game. Sorry, not gumption. Not gumption.
Whoa.
Because he's not a little guy. He's not a little guy. He's a big guy. Yeah. He's
playing with gumption, and why wouldn't he?
God damn it. Sorry. I brought back the ghost of Darren Peg.
The ghost of Darren Peg, yes. On Saturday, the Blues did lose this one 4-3, but in the shootout, they picked up a point. Jordan Kyrou has really played very well lately. Picked up his game, 2 goals. That's why I was like, man, when he was out last night, like, you got to be kidding me. He came back from injury, looked awful, and he was starting to put up about a point per game. I think the last 4 or 5 games. Scored 2 goals in this game, looked very good. And I thought, you got to be kidding me. But luckily, it sounds like he's not going to be out for very long.
Yeah. I think he just needs the schnoz to settle down a little bit. Probably some swelling going on there. Broken nose, I assume.
I was going to say, we've seen guys with cages, full cages, when they have a broken nose or a broken jaw. So maybe we do see him back in the lineup tomorrow. We'll see with the full cage.
Yeah,
So.
he wasn't a cage guy in junior, so I don't think that'll spark memories for him. But hopefully he's misses one or two at the most. But like you said, he was starting to show the player that he is, and his things are going his way. He's they talked about this at length on the broadcast last night. When he's moving his legs, he's a much more effective player. I mean, that the wraparound goal, and let's give credit to Mayu. I know he takes a lot of stink from this crowd in our chat, but that was a nice little dish, knowing that Kyrou had the speed going around the net, and Kemper, whoa, that was such a bad read by him, so far out of position, and Kyrou made such a great read on it, and beautiful to see him playing at high speed and scoring at high speed.
When he's around the net and he's getting a pass, he is so quick with his decision where he's putting the puck. And that's what we need to see from him. And I think that's what we started to see here. I think we were seeing him overthink it a lot this season. A lot of Blues are struggling, and we see him try to kind of put him on his back and skate it in too much. And it's just man, for me, just get yourself around the net and, have somebody feed you a pass. And he is so quick to look up. Oh, I got my spot right there, and just can fire it right where he needs to put it. That's what we need to see from him. And that's what we saw in this game. 2 goals, played very well. Blues rallied for 3 goals in 5:56. They took a 3-2 lead in the second period, but unfortunately, again, did drop this one 4-3. They did fall to 1-9 in overtime or shootout games this season. I know it's weird to say this because you don't want games to get to overtime or shootout, especially with the extra point nowadays. But that's got to be a focus for Montgomery, I think, over this break, to figure out what are we doing to where we cannot win games 3-on-3 or in the shootout. There's clearly something we're not doing right on faceoffs, possession. We got to figure this out. And so for him, I think that has to be something he needs to at least look into. Maybe not in for this season, but to make sure it's corrected for future seasons.
Yeah. Future seasons. Let's go future seasons. Like I said, I'm at the point of writing this one off. I was at the game, the Tampa game, where we got our one overtime or shootout win. And it was Jordan Kyrou who scored the only goal. Joel Hofer was great in the shootout. In this game against LA, the winning goal, Trevor Moore, which did you catch Joey Vitelli refer to him as Dominic Moore at one point in the game?
I did not.
Come on, man. He's your broadcast cohort for I think Utah. But he it was the same shot he tried at the very beginning of the game, and at the beginning of the game Hofer got it with the clavicle. This time he took that extra half a millisecond to let Hofer bite and go down, and what a snipe. That was a hell of a shot. So yeah, tough loss. Both games, right? You fight your ass off to get back in the game. You get it tied, and then for the LA, at least we got the point. And then last night, and then the Friday night game to not get anything. This team's cursed.
As weird as it sounds, because normally we always say the people who are always well, at least we got a point. It's no, that's a game you should have won. I'll say, man, for these last 3 games, if they would have gone 0-3 and gotten points in each game, I would have been that's a win to me. That you just got two wins against a division foe and another win against a good team in LA, or another point against a team in LA. That's a win to me. I mean, that's half the amount of points you'd want to get from, these 3 games. So it's unfortunate because they were so close with both Dallas games, and they just could not hold on. especially last night. Last night's an absolute heartbreaker. Coming back from down 3-0. And for Jordan Bennington, a guy who's only
right?
And a guy for like Jordan Bennington who's only had 2 wins since November 28th, to see him at least get a point in overtime. That was just such a heartbreaker.
Yeah. Yeah, that's at this point I'm wondering who Canada's rolling out. Is it probably going to be Kemper?
I think you showcase all of them in the round robin.
I think you lead off with Bennington, see what he does. But then in the round robin, definitely spread the love. But
we'll see. Bill, save of the week.
Yeah, so this is where I was going to go. So the rule is when you're on a 5-game losing streak, or the loser roll, as we will call it, there is no save of the week, right? You don't get it. However, if there were
why are you punishing our fans, Bill?
Because I didn't have enough time in the day today to.
There it is. That's what I was looking for.
But the so the if there would have been one, it would have been the back-to-back robbery saves on Brant Clark in overtime by Hofer against the Kings. Just absolute great read. He is showcasing for me why I won't consider him one of the robotic goalies, because the positioning on the first save, his knee is still at knee height, right? He's not trying to go down in full butterfly quickly. He has his knee raised. Clark tries to pick him, and he, hits him right in the knee and follows through with the kick save and a beauty toward him. That Clark was in pretty tight, didn't have any angle to get that puck over him. So, yeah.
Ken Morris called you a big meanie. Yeah.
Sorry, Ken. I am a big meanie, but yeah,
that
was the one save that I think would have been worth it.
Comment of the show says Happy Pride Month. Pride Month is in June, right? What is he talking about? Do we make a comment about a gay person? Heated rivalry, right? By the way, real quick, for anyone who's not seen it, I want to pull up the numbers, but it's not important. Look it up yourselves. Not on a work computer. So ever since Heated Rivalry has come out, I heard today that apparently, you've heard this?
Yeah. So there was
hockey-related porn searches
are
up like
I didn't hear that part.
They're up like 400%.
No, I thought you were going to talk about the Fluto Shinzawa Julian McKenzie Athletic article about the StubHub bump for hockey since that show's been out. Right.
All right.
68% increase in hockey searches on StubHub. And
wow.
so whoever what you're referencing is like, StubHub, what about Pornhub? And so they did the research, huh?
Yep.
So have you watched it?
It just goes to show the kind of company I keep, that was the statistic that I heard.
Yeah. Well, given what our team player of the game award is right now, it totally fits. The shoe fits. But have you watched it at all?
No.
Have you? I watched the first episode of it, and it is so
graphic.
It's not soft. It isn't like just straight out suggestions. Like it's not just like insinuating. There are full on scenes, right?
Yeah.
And it's not hardcore porn, but
it's as close as it gets.
It's it's on HBO Max in the States for a reason, right? And in Canada, there's a much better tolerance for this kind of thing because they don't have as many religious zealots as we do here.
Mm-hmm.
The Jacob Tierney is was one of the co-writers for Letterkenny in Shoresy, and it's his show, right? So he was God, the pastor in Letterkenny, right? That's him. Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yes. So that is Jacob Tierney, and it is very well written. The hockey content is pretty awesome. The fact in the Julian McKenzie and Fluto Shinzawa article was focused a lot on the fact that the rivalry part, the way that it's written, it's Montreal and Toronto, or Montreal and Boston. And so yeah, it's a great story. I plan on finishing the season. But yeah.
Comment of the show says it's got all the boy ass you'd ever want, unless you're Bill, which is higher. It's unfortunate. Comment of the show, I already gave that away tonight, so you do not win that. But I will say, and I seriously, it's just knowing what I've heard of this show, it just honestly doesn't sound like it's for me. I don't watch a lot of dramas. It's just not like, I have so much drama in my life that I'm just like, I don't need to watch it on TV too. So like really all that I watch are sports, comedies, and action. Every now and then with the wife, we'll turn on some kind of drama, but for me, like it's just not my thing. But from what I've heard about it, and like from just knowing the culture of hockey that I'm around all the time, it does sound like I need to at least give it a watch for that reason. So we'll see. Maybe eventually I'll sit down and start watching it. But right now I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if that's really for me.
Yeah, so I had read articles about it before and I got to the point where I just finished Pluribus. So I'm like, all right, what's next? And so I was torn between a few different things and said I'll give this one a go. It wasn't like, drag me in. I've got to binge the whole thing. I'm not that kind of guy anyway. I don't generally binge things. It takes me weeks to get through. Like Pluribus, I think it took me 3 weeks to get through that, and at the point that I started, it was already done. So I could have easily binged it. I just don't make that kind of time.
I'm the same way. So I started watching the show Silo on Apple TV. I started watching that over a year ago, and it's only got 2 seasons, 10 episodes each, and I just got to the second to last episode.
Yeah.
It's like, that's how slow I watch TV too.
Yeah, same. Yeah. So the one that illustrates that best for me it's Florida Man on HBO.
Love it.
It's so fucking hilarious, but I'm like, I just don't make time to watch TV like I used to.
Yep, me too. Well, last thing that we will touch on tonight, and we'll make this kind of quick. Steve Ott went 1-1 in his first 2 games as the head coach of the Springfield Thunderbirds. He won his debut Friday versus the Marlies 4-3. They actually were down 3 goals in that one, came back and won that in overtime. The game-winning goal, you love hearing this as a Blues fan, Theo Lindstein got the game-winning goal, and it was off a 2-on-1 break with Alex Santeri-Kaskamaki. So the Blues prospects, guys that you expect to be on this team in the next couple of years, already making an impact with Steve Ott as their head coach. So you love seeing that. They did end up losing their second game Saturday versus the Senators at with a 1-0 score. They did have a season high 40 shots on net. Goalie Levi Marilainen, which is a wonderful name, he stopped them all. So obviously played very well for them. But it sounds like things are at least turning the tide a little bit for Ott. Their next game is on Friday. So he's had a full week now with them to be able to kind of maybe implement some system changes. So we'll see how they come out this week with Ott as their head coach.
Yeah. Marilainen got a stretch for when Linus Ullmark was out for the big Sens earlier this year. Wasn't overly impressive at the NHL level, but is 40 save shutout is not to be balked at any level. Sounds like Ott would be 2-0 if it weren't for running into a buzzsaw goalie.
Mm-hmm. Yep, 100%. So good luck to him. We'll keep you updated here, at least in the first couple weeks of Ott down there, how that team's looking. And I will say I did see the goal from Theo Lindstein, and it was a beaut. So, again, not saying that Steve Ott taught him anything. Here's what you do on a 2-on-1 in overtime. But still, you love to see that the two of the bigger prospects in the Blues system thriving a little bit under the new head coach in Steve Ott. So hopefully that continues. Next up for the Blues, Thursday, January 29th, they will play Florida, as we've talked about. Saturday, it's their last home game before the Olympic break. So if you want to get tickets and see a game before the Olympic break, that's your last chance. I will be there. I'll be sitting in my brother's seats right behind the net. So that'll be a fun night for me. That's January 31st, Columbus. That's a 6 o'clock start. Monday, they are taking the road for a 2-game trip before the Olympic break. So they will be that'll be Monday, February 2nd in Nashville at 7 o'clock. And then they close up before the break Wednesday, February 4th in Dallas at 8:30. Those wonderful 8:30 starts. And that is our last game against Dallas. So we'll see if the Blues exact a little revenge. As far as our next show goes, I kind of feel like it makes sense for us to do a Thursday show, but that's not always the best night for me. So maybe a Tuesday show. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Maybe even a pregame show for Wednesday. So we'll see.
Yeah, it'll have to depend on the February schedule isn't posted yet for our team. For the Force, is it?
Yes. That's a great question. I can look.
I'm looking right now. So
we'll see. But either way,
yes. So it would have to be Thursday unless we wanted to do it kind of early on Tuesday because we have a 10:30 game.
Oh my God, where at?
Kirkwood.
That's not so bad. I can handle that. Yeah, I'll say since I'm going to an office again, I'm like, these late games. I'm like, I get why everyone complains.
Yeah. I was so excited when we got moved up to tomorrow night, especially with that, extra long drive out to St. Peter's.
Yes. Yep. I agree. 100%. Okay. It looks like we got a couple games posted there. So that's good. All right. Let's see. Anything else from we've got a comment of the show. Ott's got a 50% win percentage. Fire him. And then, Thursday's game. I did not realize this. So tomorrow night, it's the retro jerseys night. So I guess they're wearing I've said this before, not a fan of the clown jerseys, but once a year, I'm totally cool with it. So yeah. I'm excited to see them in their retros tomorrow night.
Yeah. Once a year is good enough.
Yep. That's the way I see it. Once a year, totally cool with that. If you want to do that the rest of my life, I'm fine with that. But once you start talking 2, 3, 4, 5 times a year, too much. No, let's not do that.
Are the Cats going to wear their Winter Classics? Because that would be nice.
Oh, that'd be cool. I liked, at first when I saw those, I was unsure, but then when I saw them at the Classic, I thought that looks pretty cool. I do like those jerseys.
Yeah, we'll see if that changes. If we get to see them in actual arena and not baseball stadium. But yeah,
right.
Ace asked, "Is it Hofer Thursday?" I think it has to be.
Yes.
At this point, just alternate, and somebody gets hot, stick with them. They kind of did that with Hofer, but with a compressed schedule, they definitely aren't going to run. Just whoever's hot this season. It's maybe after the break's over, they'll consider that. But yeah, I
we'll see how Binnington does in the Olympics because it might be his crease after that. We'll see.
Right. If he rediscovers his nobody beats me form.
Yep.
So.
All right. Well, I think that'll do it. Bill, anything else to add?
Nope. I think we've said all we can say tonight.
Yep. Well, thank you. We'd say this. Thank you to our incredible sponsor, StrikeWithMike.com. That'll wrap up episode 18 of season 15 of the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Thanks for listening, and thanks to those who participated in the YouTube and Facebook live chats during the live show. Make sure to follow us on socials at LGB Radio and follow, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. For Kirk Price and Bill Day, I'm Jeff Ponder, and this was Let's Go Blues Radio. Until next time, everyone, let's go Blues. End that 5-game streak, for the love of God.
Let's go Tyler Tucker. Damn it.
How about let's go to the AHL, Tyler Tucker? That sounds like a good kid's book. Let's go to the AHL, Tyler Tucker.
TV talking St. Louis Blues hockey, moving fast, can't catch the beat, skates on fire, ice on defeat. Kurt Jeff and Bill